How to become most sustainable, regenerative, and carbon negative and build a pollution-free, green civilization. Hello there, bacterial life forms have been threatening the human population. 220s in the same year has been chaotic. The reason behind virus outbreaks is human ignorance, recklessness, and misuse of the planet and its sentient beings. Humans have lived as a component of nature for thousands of years. The industrialization has instituted a period of drastic exploitation of the environment and its living forms. All creatures in nature assist the regeneration of the environment and cycle life and matter back into the system endlessly. The animals that emit the most carbon dioxide or greenhouse gases still vitalize the soil, ecosystems and fertilize vegetation with their livelihood. The most intelligent species called humans are supposed to be more beneficial for the environment and the planet than ravaging it apart for survival. If you think about it, everything in life is done to survive. Survival in nature continues in a circular system, flushing all elements without any loss. The most destructive civilizations have gone extinct or lost their prosperity until there is nothing left. Every nation is obliged to clear up their pollution and go as eco-friendly as possible because every region affects the entire globe severely. Power generation, mass manufacturing, and all other industries are shifting towards carbon and negativity and environmentally safe systems. Everybody was trying to consume, dump and pollute more in the past. Hopefully, this will change for the sake of the only planet humans can live on. Space colonization and terraforming may only be a dream, it may never become a reality. It's best to protect and preserve this planet more every year. A new era has begun after the pandemic. Everyone, every company, every country is mandated to adjust their industrial and societal orders, also adapt to the needs of the environment. Sustainability should be the #1 goal for every continent. Continents are required to unify and cooperate to work on ecological and planetary projects. A green, ecological civilization is way better and advanced than an industrially destructive and consuming one. The economy will do better through green growth and expansion fueled by polluting, detrimental energies, and products. Carbon and negativity should be embraced right after sustainable development. There is a possibility for every industry and city to amend as a carbon-absorbing structure. There are tons of new inventions and technologies coming out to build a more sustainable and regenerative civilization than ever before. More and more scientists, researchers, engineers are working on creating solutions to tackle climate change and land degradation. Every cropland and habitation can easily be revamped as a polyculture eco-village, breaking down greenhouse gases and synthesizing useful byproducts. There is going to be constant innovation in every field of business to increase sustainable adjustments, reduce waste and pollution. Greenhouse gas emissions are way too high for nature to deal with. It's more difficult to absorb and utilize potent gases like methane and nitrous oxide, warming up the globe. Plants only inhale carbon dioxide, not greenhouse gases. Some heavy gases are almost impossible to remove and clear out of the atmosphere. That's why greenhouse gas emissions should be restrained worldwide in order to begin removing them from the atmosphere with carbon capture technologies. The most regenerative agriculture can be polyculture and agroforestry. These innovative farming methods can rejuvenate desolate lands and sequester carbon in the ground. There are many natural solutions, but industrial-scale carbon capture is still crucial to somehow stop uprising warming. Plant-based productions and businesses can supersede polluting, and cruel industries also help the environment to revitalize. There is a need to implement more plants and plant-based alternatives into all industries and manufacturing systems. Everything depends on people and what they do to survive. This is an existential threat to every world citizen. Construction is one of the biggest emitters. A new type of cement can absorb CO2 like a sponge. That way construction can be carbon neutral or positive depending on the scale. More construction is needed to move the population to resilient, inland areas before more catastrophes and sea level rise reach the coasts. Glaciers are melting and shrinking every year. Global warming will generate more catastrophic events in this century and the next. People are supposed to relinquish prejudice, differences, animosities and consolidate to build the most sustainable and ecological civilization ever existed. The green economy may be more expensive for everyone, but it may gradually restore the planet and uphold resilience. The biggest emitters can adapt to the green economy and invest in innovative solutions, productions, and clean energy. Clean energy will always be one of the biggest industries worldwide. Even free energies would be profitable and useful for the masses. There may be a lot of things that are classified. They can be uncovered to establish a clean, sustainable future with no cataclysms. There are many new inventions and discoveries in development to tackle the climate crisis and increase sustainability. The globe is still warming up every year. Some rainforests may turn into savanna due to deforestation to clear land for animal agriculture, palm oil, and other plantations. The environment must be the most important prospect for any newly developing civilization. Destroying the environment, forests and wasting fragile natural resources will only impoverish and torment the human population. Advanced civilizations utilize the environment without harming or degrading it to sustain their communities. You can't see this on Earth yet, but people are waking up to what's been done wrong. Greenhouse gas emissions are everywhere. Farming still emits tons of greenhouse gases. It's not just the greenhouse gases trapped in the atmosphere that warmed up the planet. Magnetic pole shift may be intensifying climate change as well. Everyone has to adapt to the needs of the environment rather than their habits, customs, and traditions. A lot of things have to change. Almost all industries harm the environment and emit tons of greenhouse gases. The environment is the place that nourishes the human race. It's not going to provide when it's ruined. Advanced civilizations have misused their environment for technological and industrial growth, then they've realized they had to protect it in the first place. It's not just plants and animals. The Earth's natural world consists of countless species into circular equilibrium. This biodiverse circular system nourishes all life, including humans. The greenest, circular economic system may restore the environment and use waste as a resource. Most industrial nations' environment and air have been the most polluted and degraded, but they can overturn this with greater synergy and understanding. People believe economic, industrial growth, and expansions are the best purposes for society to go after. This is a totally false belief system. Extreme extreme growth and consumption will only devastate the environment and turn the planet into an uninhabitable, toxic terrain. Most alien races may be coming from dead worlds because they've consumed their environment to a point of no return. Humans shouldn't emulate what they've done wrong, which is extremely technological and industrial advancement. Every nation must communicate, learn from each other and cooperate to restore their environment into utmost renewability and resilience. Otherwise, the deterioration will spread to other parts of the world. You can observe this during pandemics and endemics. Most of the industries that are detrimental to the environment will go obsolete or redesigned to be beneficial for the ecosphere. Everyone can learn to live more ecologically, and this will get better with more knowledge and practice. Study and practice can make anyone a maestro. Sometimes the most significant objectives are the simplest ones. People will always need tons of products, energy, and things to survive and live comfortably. Some people adopt minimalism in their lives and experience greater fulfillment and sense of purpose. Life isn't all about working, consuming, and wasting all that exists. After some time, there will be nothing left for the growing population. Pollution levels are extremely high worldwide. Pollution must be hindered in one way or another. People have to live more ecologically from an individual and corporate standpoint. Old ways of living, consuming, making things, and even manufacturing are required to improve to benefit the planet's natural environment and biodiversity. Nature exemplifies the greatest cyclical system that never degenerates, only changes form. Every industry can take an example of this magnificent model encircling the globe. There is only one planet to live on. It has to be protected at all costs. There is nothing more substantial than this in life. The planet's natural biosphere is the most consequential aspect. Everyone can carry out critical tasks to protect and enrich the environment in order to tackle global warming and disastrous events. Calamities can be prevented in advance with the augmentation of natural resources. Natural resources are abundant, diverse, and beneficial for the planet's life balance. There are tons of species that can be cultivated on land, on water, in rural or urban areas to stabilize climate, rainfall, and increase sustainability in every region of the world. There are already inventions mimicking artificial leaves splitting hydrogen and oxygen from water to generate free energy to power homes and industries. Trees and forests can soak in tons of carbon dioxide, yet artificially enhanced tree prototypes are able to absorb more carbon dioxide and store it for many uses. Therefore, artificial leaves and trees may generate free energy and store useful industrial gases. Artificial forests can be able to remove greenhouse gases and stockpile their main elements as industrial resources. Every element is very useful when it's split apart. The main elements have the capability to produce free energies. This is called a type of green energy. Green energies have already initiated a new era in human society. They're being subsidized and implemented by all nations. Green energy innovation will eventually conceive free energies to power civilization more sustainably in a circular order. These free energies mimicking forests can power cities, buildings, and even spaceships in the future. There may be some free energies that are highly classified, but they can be revealed to halt climate change and environmental decline. The world's largest cities emit more greenhouse gases and alter the natural ecosystems than anywhere else. Most types of farming still emit potent gases, so nothing is really sustainable yet. Farming, manufacturing, and cities can merge as one productive rainforest ecosystem that can continuously enrich the environment, break down greenhouse gases, and sequester carbon as a resource or in the ground. Indigenous communities have accomplished this in the past. Modern men don't want to live as natives, but they can still perform native rainforest living infrastructure in industrial and city designs. There were ancient civilizations that were very ecological, also advanced. The level of advancement can be assessed with environmental protection and sustainability. No civilization can become advanced by harming the environment or destroying their planet into extinction. Everything that humans are accustomed to may have to change. The Earth is indefinitely going through many changes. Change is a big part of life all over the universe. You can't keep doing the same things forever. The information is flowing faster through the advancement and uprise of technology, the internet, and devices. Everything is energy and also information. Nobody and no being can accomplish anything without the proper information. That's why people have to research and find the correct data about their environmental impact and invent new ways to recover the planet. The environment is where all beings, including humans, abide. It can't be all technological or industrial. Cities can't be just industrial areas where people live by polluting and ravaging the ecosphere. Human beings have been genetically engineered to be the green guardians of planet Earth. This is one of the most special and magnificent worlds in the entire universe. There is no doubt about that. It's just something people didn't know about. Most alien races come from depleted worlds in search of coveted resources that the Earth comprises in abundance. That's why the planet's sustenance is exceptionally momentous for the human race to live and evolve into the future. A global ecological civilization can achieve way more than a technologically devastating and oppressive dystopia. The Earth's ecology is extremely rich and diverse, thus it has to be conserved and boosted with great endeavor and cooperation. Environmental problems and climate change can either unite humanity to start doing the right things production and consumption-wise, or incite never-ending conflicts and animosities. Everyone, even many alien races, want the same thing. They want the best environment and output to sustain themselves. Green prospects that will nourish civilization forever, or a tyrannical, poor dystopian future are ahead. It's up to humans to make the global shift towards ecological renewability and green energies to secure their survival. Luckily, a lot of countries have awakened after the pandemic. They know they've been destroying the environment and polluting the planet increasingly. The accumulated wealth that stays in numerical accounts forever will never benefit a whole living system. Nature contains all the resources to rejuvenate human civilization into its most sustainable phase of development, but industrial devastation and pollution must be strictly regulated by all nations. Electricity has to be generated through renewable technologies and natural breakthroughs mimicking plants and nature. There are many so-called green technologies that are waiting to be mass manufactured to supply the global demand. Some of these can remove tons of carbon dioxide, produce hydrogen and oxygen as energy from water, and so much more. Whatever nature does with photosynthesis and other means can be copied artificially, and some of these inventions ultimately emulate nature's amazing energy and nutrient generation. Recycling any type of material into new products will be one of the biggest industries, and this is what the planet needs at this time to oppose plastics and other pollutants. How you live in your daily routine can either affect the globe negatively or breathe life into sustainable productions and critical projects. What you buy, consume, and dispose of is very significant. Almost no product is beneficial for the globe's natural environment. This is one of the things that must be revised worldwide before pollution and climate crises are irreversible. Natural disasters have been literally intensifying every year. Nobody knows what will come next. Every summer was longer and hotter. Winters are kind of like mini ice ages. Green hydrogen produced with renewable energies can be one of the biggest industries and breathe life back into desolated areas. The purchase, use, and dump system are going to be obsolete and get replaced by refilling stations and stores. Everything people buy and use ends up in landfills once they're no longer needed. Any product could be refilled so many times without any need for packaging and waste. Some entrepreneurs have devised a circular business method where people bring their own containers to refill with anything they purchase. It's kind of more expensive at first, but prices will be more reasonable one day. It's impossible to compete with large corporations, so the largest corporations can ultimately embrace extreme eco-friendliness, waste-free, and plastics-free business structure. Otherwise, pollution levels will never decrease and sustainability will never reach the global targets. Ecological productions can be way more sustainable than industrially unsustainable expenditures. People will always need tons of products and services to survive and live conveniently. Therefore, the switch to global environmental protection must be adopted by all industries, since almost all of them take away from natural resources that uphold the planet's natural balance. Green energy can power civilization shortly, and that's great news for all living beings. Solar farms are infusing into farming communities, increasing yields and harvest. There may not be any need to construct new dams for hydropower. Other renewable energies are safer for the environment, and they can generate enough power. Every nation should communicate, cooperate, and unify to tackle climate change and its cataclysmic consequences. Existential threats can unite humanity as a super green force encompassing planet Earth. There may be an alien threat trying to take advantage of humanity during times of crisis and confusion. It's best to preserve the planet's self-abundance and biodiversity in every continent and region across the globe. The planet lost 2/3 of its rainforests and more than half of its forest cover. They must be planted back, and any rich natural habitats and forests must be safeguarded in all circumstances. Destroying more forest coverage, especially rainforests, which are the lungs of the planet, will only destroy nature and impoverish the human race into extinction. Every species is essential to the natural balance encircling the Earth. Earth's nature is so rich that it may eventually reach the stars and other planets to begin terraforming depleted or barren spheres. It all depends on humans to wake up and start doing the right things. Consuming more and more until nothing is left is the worst thing to do in life. There are many foods and products as well as energy sources that are extremely destructive for the planet in general. Corporations can't embrace green revolutions planned to protect and enhance nature's every aspect if the human population doesn't lead first. Green, vegan, plant-based movements and green energy revolutions have been gradually opening the gates to planetary rejuvenation and unification. Nothing in this magnitude ever occurred on Earth before. The rising awareness and growing knowledge about real problems and solutions can transform the planet rapidly and lead civilization in the right direction. Humans are a remarkable species destined to surpass all alien races that come here to carry out secret agendas. In the future, everyone may have a self-healing, free energy spaceship to complete the most crucial environmental, societal and planetary restorative projects and activities. It's difficult for anyone to worry about the planet while they're trying to survive in a declining world. For that reason, the planet's bioabundance is required to be amended consistently for the sake of human civilization. Everything can't be a resource including all animals and what nature offers. Most of these organic life forms should be fortified to increase natural resilience and biodiversity. Biodiverse and biophilic cities, farming and industrial productions can be perpetually sustainable and productive. Introducing diversity to any landscapes has been more prolific than monoculture kind of destructive techniques. Any nation can become carbon negative, eco-rich, and green. The pandemic has uncovered more possibilities for environmental endeavors that were disregarded in the past. Rainforests are by far the most renewable regions unique to planet Earth. Any world city regardless of its size and population can be remodeled as the richest, diverse, lively rainforest ecosystem to utilize greenhouse gases and waste as a resource. Lockdowns have reduced carbon emissions significantly, and this can only continue if natural solutions are executed all over the world, including the world's largest cities and industrial zones. Agroforestry schemes are some of the most efficient systems to turn desolated lands into productive, carbon-sequestering fields. AC units drain a lot of electricity, also massively contribute to climate change. The planet is warming up, so people will need AC throughout the year. Carbon capture technologies are very expensive and may not be efficient to remove the trapped carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. AC units can be modified to remove carbon dioxide and store it in containers worldwide. This way, the excess CO2 would withdraw from the atmosphere back to containment or underground. CO2 and even the main elements of greenhouse gases are very valuable for various industries. CO2 has a very high market value. Split elements can be new energy sources as well. The only thing is to somehow capture these gases and keep them in storage for industrial use. Greenhouse gas emissions are still extremely high, and they will uprise due to the growing population's demand. It's all supply the demand. The human population has evolved to be destructive for their environment. Now is the only time to solve existential threats that are magnifying every year. Many rainforests are still on fire. Palm oil, soy, cattle ranching, and some other industries are behind these fires. If the planet loses its rainforests, the consequences will be dreadful. These are the most biodiverse regions that produce the most oxygen, basically the lungs of the Earth. Carbon technologies will be one of the biggest industries soon. Carbon capture innovation will receive massive funding to oppose climate change. The best thing to do is to convert all AC units into carbon capture mechanisms. Research and development are veering to climate change innovation here. here on out, and there will be new alternatives and technologies arising every year. AC is one of the most essential machines in every household, office, and city block. They work effectively every day to cool and heat rooms. Carbon capture isn't much different than air conditioning, it's basically working reversely. There have been a good deal of reverse engineering until now. Futuristic spacecraft have been developed. Capturing carbon dioxide and store it with AC fans wouldn't be impossible. Technology and innovation are increasing every day. Almost everyone will work on projects and tech to tackle climate change because it's the most threatening event of the modern age. Energy industries knew pumping a tremendous amount of greenhouse gases would warm up the planet, but they didn't stop since there was no other way to generate energy. Human beings require more energy and resources than any other being out there. Funding for the best carbon capture tech is the easy part now. Natural solutions are still the most potent methods of removing CO2 from the air. Artificial photosynthesis can split and utilize gases as industrial elements. Cities will incrementally transform into rainforest productions to be carbon negative and pollution-free. That's why existent rainforests should be conserved and transplanted to nearby cities, for them to increase sustainability and productivity. Green spaces uphold creativity, happiness, and mental clarity. People want to be part of nature. Living detached from nature and working too hard just to pay bills isn't beneficial for human beings nor the planet. Natural solutions and nature's renewable resources can be implanted densely into urban, suburban, and rural areas. Dense reforestation is the best way to plant new forests, orchards, and food forests. An efficient method to stick trees, plants, seeds only a few inches apart from each other for faster growth and output. There are billions of people that live in cities. There are billions of AC units and fans all over the world. Cities are being retrofitted with clean energies and green infrastructure during times of crisis. AC fans can be converted into carbon capture technologies with proper modifications. AC and refrigeration drain tons of electricity and produce gases being trapped in the atmosphere. All technologies can be reworked to tackle climate change and environmental degradation. The Earth's environment is still rich and robust, though time is running out for planetary protection. The demand for metals to manufacture clean and renewable technologies is escalating every year. Sustainable metal extraction will be the next booming business. Other planets, moons, and asteroids may contain rare, unknown metal deposits. Space mining can be appraised as incredibly profitable. All kinds of metals will be in high demand to manufacture technologies and clean energy apparatus. Every industry and nation is adopting green energy and sustainable systems to be able to prevent disastrous events. More metals are needed to build the green infrastructure globally. There aren't enough natural resources nor metal deposits to supply the green growth unless it's supported by recycling and ecological improvements. Sustainability depends on metal extraction as well, not just natural endeavors. Green metal revolutions will bring many benefits and increasing growth to switch to clean energy. Climate change can fuel green innovation and technologies that were held classified or postponed for decades. Free energy and nature copying technologies might already have been operative in contained facilities. The thing is, leaders and proprietors didn't believe clean and free energies could be more profitable and efficient than polluting industries. Secrecy over the most significant subjects must be exposed to put an end to existential crises. People should evolve as a free and cooperative society in the universe where there are countless alien races. Some of them are already here on Earth. There is a great possibility that the self-generating green prospects will outmatch all alien races with more advanced technologies. Technology isn't everything in the universe, it's just a tool to get things done. The physical environment that supports all life forms including humans is way more sacred and valuable than tech obsession and expenditures. Without a healthy, fertile environment, humans would get impoverished in a short time no matter how advanced tech they've formulated. That's why the Earth's rich environment should be safeguarded by all nations, since every part of the world affects the whole severely. More restrictions and adjustments are necessary to address climate change, warming, and the unstable biosphere.